The picture the Declaration painted of the king was unsparing, rendering George as Nero, Richard III, and Attila the Hun all rolled into one. So I chuckle because George III comes across as an all powerful despot. Was that the case?
He would have been surprised. In fact, he was surprised when he read the Declaration of Independence, or had it read to him later on, to be accused of being this all-powerful tyrant, because he felt very hamstrung, actually,
Wow.
by the British Constitution, which, since the English Civil War and the Glorious Revolution, two key events in British history 100 years earlier on, the king had not had the power of an absolutist monarch, right? You're thinking of France when you think of that at that time. The king was bounded by parliament. It's the king in parliament. The king appoints the prime minister and the government and tries to steer their agenda, but he can't dictate to them. The British Constitution is very clear about that. The king's job is to the Parliament's job is to write the laws, the King's job is to sign them. So to see him depicted as an all-powerful tyrant in the list of grievances in Thomas Jefferson's Declaration of Independence must have come as somewhat as a surprise. Also, we know from the work of Andrew Roberts, who published a big, thick biography of George III about 5 years ago called The Last King of America, that George had long been a conciliator when it comes to American affairs. He'd long been second guessing the tax hikes imposed by his various prime ministers in the 1760s as being wrong-headed and counterproductive and likely to provoke a backlash in America, which of course it did. It's really only after the Boston Tea Party, an act of massive property destruction, which is condemned by people all across the political spectrum, both in America and in Britain, that George decides he requires submission from rebellious subjects in Boston and passes the Coercive Acts, which only, of course, makes things worse. So I guess I'm saying here that King George is a much more complicated, maybe even ambivalent figure than we in America have long thought.